Hello darlings, and welcome to today's daily diary. And you join me in Netty, and it's D-Day. It's Netty's day with MOT Destiny. She's driving okay. She's driving nicely actually. I've had to meander my way through town, down roads where I haven't been for quite a while. Trying to remember the way. Oh, no, that used to be a pub. That was a pub last time I was here. Bloody housing estate now. Where the world? Private swimming pool down here somewhere. Well, there used to be anyway. Ah, here you go, look. Swim 1-to-1. Ah, bit of a hill coming up. Netty, gird your loins, darlings. Standard queue of traffic behind me. Racing change down into third. This is where I used to walk my dog. And power. Fuel light just popped on. It's a brave and confident man who fuels a vehicle up before the MOT. Especially when it's a nearly 40-year-old vehicle. Right, we need to chuck a right here. Second gear. I'm properly nervous. I had to force myself to come out. I thought, I'll wait until I'm just feeling in the right frame of mind. And then it occurred to me that I'd still be sitting there in a week's time. So I put my winter jumper on and my big boy pants. Now then, the crack here is we just turn up and wait until they can do it, I suppose. I've got a vague idea where it is. I haven't got any sat nav or anything. That's cheating. I think it's down here on the junction. God, it's years since I've been here. Sutton Springs Wood, Postman's Lane. That's a really weird thing. Collection of park homes or whatever you call them in the middle of a woody, foresty thing. Right, somewhere down here, isn't it? Is this it? I think this is it. Never been to this place before. I'm sure this is it. Temple Normanton Testing Centre, that's the one. MOT while you wait. So presumably I can just whack it in here. Right, let's go and see what the crack is. Well, she's going in. Keep everything crossed. Okay, darlings. The test is done. And the good news, Netty is not scrap. But she has failed. But I am pretty over the moon, really, because yeah, she has failed, but nothing horrendous at all. Nothing horrendous at all. So yeah, I'm taking that. The big news is she doesn't need any welding. Thank God, she doesn't need any welding. Right, I'm hungry now. Bloody hell, she's a bit high on temp. They've been sitting there without, they've had a run-in without having the fan on. Oh well, that means we get some heat. God yeah, she's toasty warm. Bloody hell. She's not overheating, she's at 90, but she doesn't normally sit at 90. Only if she's sitting still. Right, I think we'll head straight to the mechanic and I'll fill you in on what she's actually failed on. Oh, I hate having to go through town. Right. Get a bit of lane etiquette going on here. Don't you try and whiz up the inside of me, sunshine. Oh well, I'm not leaving Netty, I'm just having a quick word with him. Jump here for a second. Right, I'm just going to have a word with the mechanic and then, well, I'll quickly tell you what she's failed on because I'll leave the test certificate with him, I suppose. Headlamp insecure near side. Fuel cap sealing device missing. That's because I've got a temporary one in there. Front passenger door cannot be opened from the outside. Well, it can. You just have to be a bit careful with it. That was an advisory last year. Broken, but still operative. So that's a bit harsh. Battery insecure and likely to cause a short circuit. That's a bit harsh. Exhaust system insecure, both rubbers come off. That's nothing. Parking brake efficiency below requirements. Those are the fails. Monitor and repair. Position lamp slightly affected by the operation of another one. Suspension arm ball joint has slight play, near side and offside. Brake pipe corroded, covered in grease or other material. Both hand brakes low. That's it. You know, I'll take that. Right, I'll be back in a minute. And I'm back. Right, well, as we can see, he's chock-a-block at the moment. So what we're going to do, we've got... oh, hang on, I didn't mean to do that. Where's the... It's that one, isn't it? Sorry, I'm just trying to turn the radio off. For some reason, they turned it on when they did the test. Right, so we've got 2 weeks for the free retest. And she's still MOT'd. So, right, well, we'll go home, basically. We'll go home, I'll give him a bell in a couple of days and see when he's got room. I'll order a fuel cap in the meantime from Coastal. Hopefully they've got one in stock. And as he said, could have been a lot worse. What time is it? I'm not sure if the clock is correct in Netty. I'm assuming it can't be. Let me have a look at my phone. What actual time is it? Okay, 20 past 2. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll head home and we'll celebrate Netty's failure with some luncheon Momo. Oh, God. Power steering isn't particularly effective at low speed. I'm going to struggle to get bloody out of here. Don't forget you've got a bonnet out in front of you, sunshine. Don't forget there's a wall there. Actually, I really am going to struggle to get out of here. Well, I got it in. Bloody hell. Right, after a bit of fiddling, I think we are out. Just check against that wall there. Gonna clear? I think we're clear. Yeah, we're clear. Oh, Lord, that was fun. Okay. Well, I think that's quite a big sigh of relief, really. All we got to do now, pull out onto a busy road, sorted. Netty, you're a legend, darling. You can have some fuel, and in the fullness of time you can have those beautiful wheel trims that you said you liked, and you can have a new stereo. You absolute legend. God, what a day I chose to do it. Bloody hell. Horrible. Right then, Nettykins, you are home, darling, and more importantly, you are safe. So we'll park you up for the meantime. Oh, I've got the wrong shoes on. I've got the wrong shoes on. You need the right shoes to drive, Netty. Oh, God. Oh. Swing your girl if she ain't too tall, with a head in the kitchen and a feet in the hall. Oh, God. She has got power steering, honestly. Get it tucked into the curb. There we go. Right. Next stop, Momo. Hello, darlings. Well, it's a few hours later. I got in, I had my Momo, very nice they were too. And, oh, why are you beeping at me? Side lamp bulb faulty. Oh, hang on. Right, my screen's all doodahed up. Bear with. That should do for now. Yeah, so where was I? Had my Momo, and then, oh dear. And then I kind of just calmed down. To be honest with you, I got myself into, bloody hell, you managed to squeeze in between those two. You did well. I managed to get myself in a bit of an old 2 and 8 over today. And that's not just today, over quite a long term. When I bought Netty, there was always a niggle at the back of my mind. Oh, okay. Right, well, there we are. Laybys are there for a reason. Yeah, there was always a niggle at the back of my mind about the next MOT, only because of the welding, and only because I didn't have the welding done. I've said this over and over again. So I had no idea whether it was done to a single MOT pass standard or a genuine future-proofing standard. Now, it would appear that the latter rather than the former is the case, and what a blessing that is. But yeah, the nearer the MOT got, the more I've been worried about it. Only because it's not like me to, you know, I mean, it's out of my character to get anxious in advance over a bloody MOT for an old vehicle. I mean, back in the day, it didn't matter because I had money to do whatever repairs were needed, and more latterly, when I've been poor, I drive very cheap vehicles, so if they fail an MOT badly, they get thrown away and replaced with another cheap vehicle. Whereas Netty, I formed a massive emotional bond with her. So I think the anxieties came from the notion that she failed an MOT and became not unviable to repair full stop, but unviable to repair for me. because I was too poor to do it. So that was the one fear that's been nagging away. But obviously, over the last few weeks, Netty has become the plan for my home. Netty's going to be my home. I'm going to be living in her, not forever. And if plans come together, as I hope they will, only for a relatively pretty short time, you know, until we can replace her with a Caravan, when she will go back to being, as I've said, what she is now, a wonderful lifelong chum and Monday evening pleasure. So that's just massively increased the anxieties, because if you take the Netty piece out of the jigsaw of my future life, then I'm in the SH1T, aren't I? So yeah, so I really worked myself up about today, and as I said, that's why I had to put a finite day on when I'd do it. And this morning I was just all out of sorts. So the filming of the MOT, which, you know, there's an opportunity to make a really good lifestyle YouTube video. You know, I could have spoken about the jeopardy, the consequences of failure, blah blah blah, talked about the choice of MOT station. I could have made a really good video, and I just wasn't in the place to do it. I really had to force myself to film the couple of bits that I did, and even after the MOT on the way back, yeah, I just wasn't in the right place. So so yeah, this afternoon I just kind of vegged out, really. Uploaded the video from yesterday. Meaningless bit of splurge that it was, but there you go. It was honest. And then I had a long hot bath, because it wasn't particularly pleasant sitting and standing outside in the rain today. I'm not sure how long I had to wait, because it was, you know, it's just turn up, get in the queue, wait your turn. Quite an efficient organisation, actually. Oh, that was a bit of a flood there. Yeah, so I had a long hot bath, and then I thought, a bit like last Monday, I didn't want to just sit around the cottage until it was time to do a live stream. Now, in an ideal world, what I would have loved to have done today would have been to ring up a pal or a couple of pals and said, it's kind of bad news, but it's really, really good bad news. Do you fancy coming out for a pint or a glass of wine? And I would love to have just gone out, spent a couple of hours chilling out with mates, maybe having a glass of wine, and just a bit of social company, you know. But Billy No Mates here. I'm kind of not Billy No Mates. Obviously, I've got lovely chums, but none of them are within meeting up for a glass of wine distance. They're spread literally all over the world. So, I mean, I'll have my catch up with chums when I do tonight's live stream. I just didn't want to sit around the cottage until then. I've spoken before about how badly I deal with days off, unless I'm doing something like going to Wales, going for a night in the hotel, going for a motorhome Monday, a Netty night, something like that. So I thought, sod it. I had my bath and I've got dressed up. How sad is this? I've got dressed up. I just wanted to feel good about myself. It's a bit like what I was talking about yesterday. I had I don't want to feel fat and unfashionable moment. So I've dressed up, and I haven't worn this outfit. I think the last time I wore this outfit, he said, sounding like a sounding like a lady or a chap who's a bit light on the loafers. Oh hello, hitting a bit of fog. Oh, quite a bit of fog. Should we deploy fog lights? I think we probably should, shouldn't we? There we go, front and rear. Yeah, so I think the last time I wore this outfit was the night before my birthday. So that was back in January, where my first night at the Grand Hotel in Llandudno, and I do feel good about myself. Considering I banged on, oh right, okay, we can turn the fog lights off at that point. Considering I was banging on yesterday about how I couldn't give it two tinkers about being unfashionable, well that's true. I'm not into fashion, but I do like to occasionally dress well. And I feel better for dressing up. But, you know, the sad bit is, I haven't got anybody to go out and have a drink with, so I'm just going to head into town and prop up the bar and have a glass of Coke or a small glass of wine. But at least I'm getting out, at least I'm not, you know, vegetating in the cottage, and yeah, I feel good for dressing up. So there you go, that is what's happening, and I'm in a better place now to make a bit more of a proper daily diary video. So, to reiterate from earlier, it's bad news, Netty's failed, but it's the very best of bad news because she's not failed on anything pivotal. Certainly, and this is fantastic, no mention of corrosion. Not even an advisory for corrosion, structural corrosion. So that means that the welding that was done for the last MOT was clearly done to, at the very least, a reasonable standard. So that's brilliant, and whoever did the welding, forgive me for doubting you, but I don't know who you are, so, you know, I wasn't doubting you personally, I was just doubting an unknown quantity. And, you know, as human beings do, fearing the worst. So that is brilliant. The expected failures, which were 2 wheel bearings, not even an advisory. So, were they done? Were they done for the last MOT? I'm guessing they must have been. Otherwise, they would at least be an advisory again, if not a fail. I'm trying to remember what the failure items were now. Okay, so there were a couple of exhaust rubbers, weren't they? Well, you know, that's pretty much neither here nor there. Brake pipes covered in copper or other material. Oh, that was an advisory, wasn't it? Not a fail. That was an advisory. Ignore that. And we're not going to worry about it anyway. What were the other failures? Right, battery insecure. I think that's a bit harsh because past the last MOT with, and of course Netty's got 2 batteries, so I don't know to which battery they're referring. I'll have to have a look, because of course she's got 2 batteries underneath the bonnet, the starter battery and the leisure battery. But that's not going to be a big deal, you know. That's going to be easy enough to clamp down. The door handle I'm annoyed about because, yeah, they made the door handle a lot worse by wrenching it open. Young lad, trying to open the bonnet to get to the chassis number, tried to wrench it open when it was locked. And of course the handle was mostly broken anyway, so it just became even more broken. Nonetheless, that handle still works. You just have to be careful with it. So it shouldn't be a fail, it should be an advisory like it was last year. But whatever. My mechanic can have a look at that. Headlamp insecure, yeah, just bloody screw it in with something. What were the other fails? Oh, parking brake efficiency. I did say in a video that the parking brake wasn't the best, and when I parked Netty up earlier today, the brake wasn't holding her on quite a gentle slope. You know, obviously I leave her in gear as well. She's pointing downhill, so I leave her in reverse with the wheels turned in towards the curb, so she should be fine. But that, hopefully, that shouldn't be a biggie, just a matter of adjustment, so a bit of labour. Was that it? Exhaust rubbers, headlamp, door handle, battery, and the other one. Oh, parking brake. I think that was it, wasn't it? So it's still got to be done, and I'm still working on a budget of less than zero, because don't forget, I've still got to find the money for the pitch fees, and I haven't got it. So I'm already less than zero, and obviously now throw in the MOT work. But thank God, thank Netty, thank the previous owner and their mechanics, it's relatively minor stuff, so that's brilliant. Yeah, there's some advisories. What was it? Suspension arms. Worry about that next MOT. Brake pipes covered in copper grease. Well, that's just sensible, you know. Using the van all year round, slather them in grease so they don't get all corroded. Just good sense is that. But of course, if they can't inspect them for condition, what are you doing driving right up my bottom, sir? Bloody hell, I actually thought he was going to drive into me then. Well, I'm going to pull over in a second and let you pass, because you're being a pain in the body. Go on. What an absolute weapon. Anyway, there we are. Yeah, so nothing too desperate. Well, nothing to worry about on the advisories either. I'm just going to say that is a massive, massive result, and a much better result than I dared to hope for, really. So it's a massive weight off my mind on more than one level. It's doable, and it will be done, and it'll be done within the next 2 weeks, so we get the free retest. So then she's good for another year. It solves the immediate problem. It means that I've got, worst case scenario, I've got somewhere warm, dry, safe-ish to live. And as long as we get the seasonal, which we will, as long as I pay for it, then we're going to be very warm, very dry, very safe, very secure. So, you know, can't grumble at that. That's a massive weight off. And then we can crack on with the rest of our plans. On an emotional level, it means that I can continue to be emotionally invested in Netty long term, because I mean, she's cosmetically, she's a bit of a scruff, bless her, rotten as a pear in places, but it is only cosmetic. So we can go on then, go on. So that's great. We can emotionally invest in Netty for the long term. I don't plan to ever be parted from her. I don't plan to do, people have suggested, you know, bunging a more modern diesel engine in there, making her more usable, but no, I'm not going to go down that route. She's going to stay pretty much as original as she is now. So, you know, unless the engine needs changing, no plan to change that. If and when I become all rich and famous, She can have her cab restored. Maybe she can have a paint job. But yeah, long term, I'll have the spell of living in her, which means that she's obviously going to be used intensively. She's going to be lived in, but then we will swap her out for the Caravan, and she will just go on as a Monday night luxury stroke hobby stroke, I don't know what's the right word, indulgence, I suppose, and that's what she'll be going forward. If I ever did leave the restaurant and was going to be doing motorhome trips, it won't be in Netty. If I got to that stage, then I'd have another motorhome as well as Netty. Something modern, more modern anyway. More boring, but more practical and more usable for actual trips away. Netty will be a luxury, an indulgence, a hobby. And yeah, I will keep her as original as I can. I will, with the kind help of Daniel, get the fridge working and get a diesel heater fitted in her, so that at least on the Monday night when she has her indulgence use, at least it can be off-grid while camping, and it'd be nice to have that capacity in her. So yeah, there you go, that's the future for Nettykins. It also means that I could, in theory, invest in her financially. Now, I promised Netty, as I mentioned earlier, if she got through her MOT, I promised her a new onboard gramophone and those really cool, whatever you call them, moon disc wheel cover thingamybobs that would look so amazing on her. But I can't. Well, I was going to say I can't justify getting that. I can't afford getting those now, because obviously every penny needs to go towards the pitch fees, and the wheel trims, I think they're £94 for 4, which for little 14-inch wheel trims is obviously a ridiculous amount of money. But they're so cute. They're domed and chrome, and they've got like a white line around the edge. What do you call it? White. Well, if it was a tyre, it would be white wall. Don't know if you call it the same thing on a wheel trim. And a decent stereo with all of the gubbins. That's going to be a couple of hundred quid, isn't it? So she will get them. She will get them, and more besides. I would love to. Oh, I've just said I'm keeping her original. I'd like to swap the seats. The seats will not stay original. They need swapping for something better and more comfortable. But yeah, that'll all happen for the future. But so just a massively positive day, really. A massively positive day, and that means that emotionally now I can crack on. I haven't got that doubt at my mind, so I can crack on with Netty and make any improvements that I can, get her ready for her new role. The one thing I need to do is sort that table. One of the floorboards that the table's screwed into has lifted, so the table's all flippy and floppy. I don't know how to sort that. I'm not clever enough, but I need to find a way to sort it, and I will do. So I'll go and start playing with that sort of thing tomorrow, and I need to start thinking about Netty differently and organising her differently, because I'm going to be living in her. So I need to reorganise the stuff in her to allow space for more clothes, not much else. She's got pretty much everything else that she needs. She's got towels. Somebody kindly bought me the towel set. I need to get a couple of bits and pieces, like a toweling robe to go to the shower block. That kind of thing, but not much. I just need to wiggle things about, so, you know, create a sock and underpant. Oh, I've kind of got a sock and underpant drawer, haven't I? But yeah, just figure out clothes. I'm going to have to streamline my clothes. I haven't got many clothes, God knows, but I've got more than will fit in Netty. But then I've got clothes that I'm never going to wear again, so that's going to be part of the Swedish death clean of Windy Bum. I just need to throw it all out. Right, I tell you what, darlings, I think that's going to be it for this one. Proper tickle. I've got a live stream tickle. I'm not even live streaming. That's about it for this one. So thank you for all the good wishes. Thank you for the positive messages. Thank you for keeping everything crossed. Thank you for watching this, and I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow. So yeah, look forward to seeing you next time, darling. Next time, darlings. Tricky chaps words. So yeah, catch you next time, my lovelies, and until then, toodle pip. See you tomorrow. Oh, can't see where you're going. There we go. Good night, loves.
The YouTube channel's not any good, but he's a nice guy. I'm sorry, Mr. Boaty.
Oh. You had me at YouTube videos. Let's go, Boaty.
Boaty's such a great guy, such a great guy, very tall. Such a great guy. I wish Boaty was here in America with me right now.
You twat. Wanker.